This week there was some surprise news about Kick-Ass 2.
Some bad news for Bioshock fans.
And Edgar Wright finally teases Ant-Man. But teased.
Today is Friday, May 11th, 2012. Welcome to Pretty Much It. I got nothing. I don't know where else to go.
You just say how you doing.
I'm doing all right. If you're new to Pretty Much It and you're not following us on Facebook and you haven't... I goofed that again.
Following us on...
I did that last week.
Yeah, you did.
What's wrong with me? If you're not following us on Twitter and you haven't liked us on Facebook, you can do so by clicking the links down in the info. Also down in the info are links to all of this week's reviews. God Bless America, Dark Shadows, New Girl, the TV series, and that's it actually. Kind of a slow week.
And they weren't even that good of reviews, were they?
New Girl is glowing.
Oh, she's glowing.
She's obviously pregnant then, yeah. And finally, if you are new to Pretty Much It, we have a feature called Choose Your News, where all along the bottom
Don't
of the
panic!
screen... Oh.
Don't panic!
Oh.
But you can click those.
Yes.
They're your friends.
You click them, and it'll take you to any topic in the video that we're talking about, or, of course, you can watch the whole thing. So let's get right into the news, starting off with a follow-up. From now on, if there are any follow-up, bits of information that we have on a story that doesn't warrant an entire topic, we will talk about them. This time around, it is Iron Man 3.
Yay!
The only little tidbit here is we talked about Jessica Chastain being in the cast, and
Right.
she is not.
Oh, yeah.
She screwed the pooch.
Well, when we said it, she wasn't confirmed. She
That
was in
didn't make any
talks.
sense.
So,
She screwed I was trying to say, like, she flew the coop.
she was not confirmed to be in it. She was, in talks to be in it, I think.
Yeah.
And so, so she's just not in it. So it's
You
not
got
really that big of a deal.
excited and
She,
all
Well, it
that.
would have been awesome.
She said
It
that
would've been.
it was because she was too busy.
But apparently, Rebecca Hall is going to be joining the cast in her place.
Now, who is that?
Exactly. I have no idea.
Oh.
Moving on to more movie news, we've got The Avengers. Now, I think we've all seen it at this point. Have we all seen it twice, or have you not seen it twice, or no?
I've seen it once.
Once. Okay, you've seen it twice. I saw it twice. But of course, even if you didn't see The Avengers, there is no way you didn't see the news that it made $207 million opening weekend, which is the biggest weekend ever, and
that's
well-deserved.
Bigger
Yeah.
than Harry Potter.
By $35 million.
Bigger than Finding Nemo.
Bigger than The Dark Knight.
Big-
Finding Nemo.
Big.
that in there?
Bigger than Winnie the Pooh. The
All right.
Heffalump
And
movie.
now-
I think Mike's just making things up at this point.
That's just in America, right?
Yeah, right. That's just the
Wow.
domestic opening weekend.
Wow.
Now, it already had made, I think, 400-something million. So by the end of the weekend, it was already up to over 600 or 700 million.
So that's...
And like we were just saying, we've seen it twice, and so many people are seeing it multiple times that that's really what's pushing it over the edge. And I saw it on Wednesday night at 9:15, and the theater was packed.
Who goes to the...
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So I mean, it's unbelievable, and like I said, very well deserved in my opinion. Now, along with breaking the box office record, there was the news, and not that this is a surprise to anybody, but there was the news that officially there is an Avengers 2 in the works. Really? Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Well, which is kind of cool for this is like they can start building it up again.
Which they plan to, right?
Yeah.
Like the next, this is phase 2, I think. Kevin Feige, by the way, is his name.
Yeah, I figured that out.
Kevin Feige is calling it. You didn't figure it out. You
No,
watched
I
the
did. I
video.
watched the
You
thing.
watched. Yeah, that's not figuring it out.
That's figuring it out.
I figured it out too. But he did say that they are going forward with, Iron Man 3, Thor 2, Captain America 2, whatever, and they're all going to be kind of like setting up the next Avengers movie. And Captain America is supposed to be the closest, by the way, to the Avengers. Because if you think about it, what has he got? He's all
true.
alone here with S.H.I.E.L.D. So he'll be working with S.H.I.E.L.D., I guess.
I also read somewhere that Thor 2 was supposed to be Marvel's most ambitious movie next to the Avengers in terms of like scale.
That means it's going to be all in space, huh?
Yeah, big old space thing, which is I guess is going to be a big thing for the Avengers.
Well,
too.
I guess, would they set up... maybe you don't want to spoil the Avengers here. Mute for a second until I'm waving my hands if you don't want to know what happens at the very end of Avengers.
works.
Okay?
Give him a couple more seconds.
Yes, so get ready, mute your computer,
Just
and
mute
then when
him.
I wave my hands, I'm going to say it just real quick.
Alright.
Would this be where they set up Thanos
In space,
in
definitely.
space? Okay,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Thor? Okay, so that's probably what they'll do then,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
After I saw the Avengers, I said, all right, that's it. No more. I know
What?
I'm like
Oh.
a terrible person.
Okay,
but
you're done with movies.
I'm done with these movies. Like I
Okay.
feel like now it's getting too ridiculous. If Thor 2 is going to be all in space, I feel like people are going to hate it because it's just going to be.
I don't
That's
care if people
CG
hate it. I love
space.
it.
That's what I heard people wanted out of Thor 2. Like I thought Thor 1 was too much of him just walking around on Earth.
Well, I personally loved Asgard way more than Earth. I
Yeah,
was really
exactly.
bored by the Earth stuff. I
if
thought it
it's
was
all
goofy as hell.
if it's all
Asgard.
in space, Jake,
Do you need one?
What?
Do you need an Asgard?
What is that?
You having trouble? You having any trouble? Do you need us
Stop
to
it. Stop
you need us to
looking
hurt
at me.
Moving on to some Avengers-related news.
Yeah,
kind
We've
of.
got Ant-Man. Now, I say it's Avengers-related news because people were expecting maybe a little Ant-Man thing after the credits or stuff like that, because Edgar Wright said that he got behind the camera on Twitter, and people were like, oh, maybe he shot a scene for Ant-Man, but obviously we didn't get that. However, he did... What was that?
I saw it.
Oh, okay. However, Edgar Wright did take to Twitter and sort of tease Ant-Man
Like a
in that,
picture
yeah,
kind of
he took a picture and he posted on Twitter and he was like, "Oh, I got this sent to me. What could it mean?" And it was a picture of it's like a man in
Like a stick figure.
It's like a stick figure man, then like a stick figure-y ant, and then a stick figure Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So basically, I mean, it's pretty blatantly obvious that it must be in the works or getting in the works finally because he's doing that. But now, what's he doing first though? You were saying.
He is planning to make his third movie in his own little
Sort of.
trilogy.
Okay.
It's not like a real trilogy.
Right,
it's
right,
Edgar
right.
Wright's trilogy
Correct.
of movies, starting with Shaun of the Dead, then Hot Fuzz. Now comes this movie,
What
which
is it?
it's supposed to be like a spoof of like disaster movies in the way that Shaun of the Dead was a zombie movie. Hot Fuzz was like action
movie, right.
And then now we got like an end of the world kind of
Okay.
thing, which could
like
be
that.
good. Edgar
And it's
Wright.
called.
I don't know the name.
Oh, it's The World's End. I thought.
Oh, all right, yeah.
I was letting you set it up.
Oh, so, poof.
Going back to Ant-Man, though, I think this could be kind of cool and definitely very interesting.
Yeah,
I
I don't
think-
know much about Ant-Man, but
I
gets big.
I
That's
kind
it.
of do, but I think Edgar Wright is probably the only director who could like make an interesting story out of it because like Ant-Man worked in like the comics, but like when you bring that kind of character
Oh,
to
yeah.
film,
it's like Hawkeye if they stuck with the Hawkeye costume, basically.
yeah, exactly. I mean, but like Hank Pym, which is Ant-Man,
Okay.
like he's got his own interesting story. He's not just a guy in an ant suit.
He's not just an ant. Okay.
You're
Is
right.
he an uncle?
Yes, he's an uncle to Peter Parker. Twist.
I feel like Edgar Wright is the person to do it. You're right, just
Yeah.
because it has to be different.
Yeah, it's
because
gotta be
of
different.
what he is. It's so
Uh-huh.
goofy. you
Yeah,
know?
I guess that has to be handled in a comedic way.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Wait, is it comedic in the comics or
A little bit
Once
like-
again, I think it works better in comics stuff like that because you can kind of have a niche market,
Yeah.
and people can just read it and it doesn't matter. But when you make a movie, you have to really kind of consider the world
Well,
that's
it's
going to
not.
be seeing
It's
this.
not just about a guy with ant powers. It's like he's like a super genius.
hope not.
Yeah, he's got like
Okay,
a
okay.
compelling life.
Moving on to some other sort of superhero news, we've got news about Kick-Ass. Now, if you didn't know, we talked about it recently, but Kick-Ass was kind of looking like it was going to happen, kind of not looking like it was going to
I
happen.
thought it was officially dead.
Well, it wasn't officially dead. It's just that Matthew Vaughn was going to work on X-Men First
that's
Class
right.
2.
Yeah.
So basically, we didn't know what was going to happen. And of course, there are comics, but we didn't know if it would be made into a movie. Now, apparently, the news is official. And I can't believe this because we really thought that it was dead.
Yeah.
And we said basically don't expect it. But Universal has apparently picked up the rights to produce Kick-Ass 2. Now, this is big because the only people that would pick up Kick-Ass 1, if you remember, they shopped it around to everybody.
Yeah.
And only Lionsgate went for it. So the fact that a big studio like Universal is interested, like that's
Now-
huge.
I guess now they get it after they saw the first
I
one.
think they do. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they do. Now, the other really interesting bit of news is that apparently the director of this, and of course Matthew Vaughn is producing and everything. They handpicked this director.
Right.
Matthew Vaughn picked him with the guy with Mark Millar and all of them.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yep. So you know that they've got, it's not just like a random side thing. This is an official big sequel.
Got it.
The director is Jeff Wadlow.
And who is that?
Yeah.
Yes, most people are going to say, who is that? When I saw his name, my heart dropped into my stomach, and I know no one's going to understand this.
In a good way?
One of my favorite movies of all time, Cry Wolf.
I read the email. It's happening.
The first girl, she was shot in the face.
He sent it to everyone he knows.
Thinking if I didn't want to get gutted.
Okay.
I don't know why. I know most people just wrote it off as a whatever movie, but it's one of my favorite movies ever.
I'm gonna have to agree with the whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I knew you felt that way. We've talked about that. The director of Cry Wolf is directing Kick-Ass 2. He also directed Never Back Down, which I didn't even see that, but I
Ooh,
will
I
see
like
it.
that.
Really? I didn't
That's
see it because
cool.
it looked like something I wasn't interested in.
It was like a bro thing.
A bro
But it's
movie?
cool,
Okay.
yeah.
But I'll also check it out now because I'll see how he handles action, I
Yeah.
guess. It was an action-y
Oh,
fighting
definitely.
movie, right?
Yeah, you'll be able to see.
So I'll see that, but as far as Cry Wolf goes, I really, really love Cry Wolf. It's probably one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I think that's also due in fact to I saw it with a group of friends. It was a great time at the theater. There's a lot of memories attached to me loving Cry Wolf. So
Lot
it's
of
not
other
just,
factors.
it's not like I watched it alone at home and I loved it. There's a lot that goes into it. And
Got it.
me and my friends always quote it and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Do a quote right now.
You can't convince me if you can't convince yourself. You didn't think I could, did you? Oh, boy. By the way, about Jeff Wadlow, the Cry Wolf was made because he won a contest with a short film and he got $1 million to make a movie.
That's
Real,
cool.
That's where he came from, just so
pretty
you know.
interesting.
So it's very interesting. But apparently he is directing, writing, Universal's making it. Kick-Ass 2 is on the way. Moving on to just as exciting news
Oh, man, I'm
as
excited.
Kick-Ass 2
Oh!
and Ant-Man and
Oh.
Avengers 2.
My face is melting off.
We got the Clifford the Big Red Dog movie.
Yeah.
Yay.
Apparently, there is, in fact, a Clifford the Big Red Dog movie in the works. I'm not surprised in the slightest.
Now, this has got to be like some kind of like horror thriller, right?
Yeah, about a massive dog eating everybody. Yeah.
So,
I'm sure that it will be CG. I think Universal's doing it. I'm sure it'll be like a Loraxy type of thing. But
oh, you don't think it's going to be live action?
Yeah. What if you? What
I don't
I
think
feel like
so.
it's
That would be good.
like
I guess.
Alvin and
but
the Chipmunks. Like, you know, just like everyone's normal and then
well,
there's just CG.
that's how
a
it
dog.
should be. I would say probably that's how it should be. But I'm thinking it's going to be animated. I mean CG, but I could be wrong. They haven't said. I don't think. But I guess this is great news for kids.
What does Clifford the Big Red Dog do instead of being big?
Well,
What does he bring to the table?
Nothing really. Actually, he's just a big red dog.
You know what? He actually learns a lot of lessons.
Oh.
It's going to be really interesting to see whether they go off on the books or base it off the show.
Shut up, Jake.
Let's humor Jake for a second. What do you mean? There's books originally, I guess. Then there was a
Yeah.
little TV show.
Yeah.
John Ritter voiced him, I believe.
Yeah.
Wait,
So was there a
Clifford
difference? Or...
talked?
Oh yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It wasn't his thoughts, was it? Like
No, he talked.
I'm gonna eat everyone. I did watch this when I was a kid, by the way. I'm just kidding around. Like I did watch this. I don't really remember it very well.
We were fairly old.
No, I
The
definitely,
books were
maybe.
when
Am I
we were
thinking of the
kids,
books?
probably.
Maybe I'm thinking of the
'Cause I
books
grew
because I
up
do
with the
remember
books.
Clifford.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the TV show was late enough, then I didn't watch it, I guess. But I do. Maybe I'm thinking of the books.
Yeah.
And I did like it just because it's like, ooh, pretty pictures.
Yeah.
But I mean,
That dog is big
imagine
and
the
red.
A Hollywood executive, pretty pictures.
Make this
Make
happen.
money, cash, dollars. But once again, I guess it's good for kids. So what?
Yeah.
What can we say?
This is
For little kids.
Yeah.
You know, this finally paves the way for the Berenstein Bear movie.
Oh, they better not.
With
That would-
real bears, like they do it with real bears.
Oh, it's like it'd be like a nature documentary, and nobody talks. It's just like 2 hours of like just
Bears eating.
wandering around the woods. And just doing
Well,
their
they
thing.
exist.
And then right at the end, it says the Berenstein Bears.
The best part is though is that they exist with other like real people, like they live in a neighborhood. So what if like a real person come, hey, can I borrow some sugar?
Eats his face off.
Just one swipe, and like just the person's whole face
Just rips off.
Berenstein Bears. Rated PG.
Moving on to some more movie news, we've got James Cameron in the news again. He did not dive to the bottom of the sea again. He did not go to Mars.
He didn't go to the sun. or
Yeah, he
anything
didn't
crazy?
clone himself.
He hasn't time traveled yet.
You imagine James Cameron, he steps out, he's like, I have an important announcement to make. He steps out, and then he goes like this, and another one steps out. That is not the news. He did not clone himself. However, he did say that he's done making any movies other than Avatar.
What an asshole. What an asshole.
We need to make like a soundboard of you going, what an asshole. He came out and he said, I'm done producing other people's projects, but he is in fact making Avatar 2, Avatar 3, and then he was like, and maybe even Avatar 4.
Oh, what a crazy world.
But then when asked about it like a week later, he was like, you know, he didn't say this, but he was like, maybe I was a little crazy that day when I said I wasn't making
Maybe I was a little high.
Yeah, he did in fact say that a movie that he's wanted to make for a long time, Battle Angel, he might still work on that, but not within the next few years. So
God.
that's like 10 years.
I really
I think he plans to live forever, this guy.
I really hope he does move on to something else, just because it's like seeing. I loved Cameron as a kid. Like I love all of his stuff. Now this is like.
Well,
seeing-
I didn't know him as a kid. Was he making movies as a kid?
I liked him, like, and I liked his movies, like
When you were a kid.
When I was a
Okay.
child. See, like how some people grew up on like Spielberg movies. Now let me.
Yeah, okay.
It's just like Spielberg coming out and be like, you know what? Screw everything I've ever made. I'm just gonna make E.T. 2, 3, and 4 because E.T. That's terrible.
That's pretty much exactly
Wow.
what he's saying.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's
yeah.
terrible.
His biggest
that
hit.
crushes dreams, like mine.
Okay, I guess I could see that. I don't care as much because I wasn't as big of like a James Cameron fan growing up or anything, so I don't have any like attachment in that sense. But I understand what you're saying. Personally, like you said, I absolutely love James Cameron for just keeping it real constantly. He's like probably the most real person. He just says he's like
guess,
he's like
yeah.
they made a lot of money, man, and I'm gonna keep doing it. You know.
I'm already on the top. I'm going to go even farther.
He just comes out and says it. Yeah, he doesn't care. He's very
always
blunt
been
about
that
that
way.
stuff. Good for him. Honestly, good for him. I absolutely appreciate honesty. Even if I disagree with it, I appreciate honesty. And the last bit of movie news we've got for you is kind of a BS story that we sort of talked about, I think, vaguely. Neighborhood Watch, if you remember. It's that movie coming out with Ben Stiller, Jonah Hill, whatever you think of it. Yeah, I think you weren't into it, but I'm into it. I think it looks like it could be funny. Or I did before the new trailer came out. We'll talk about the trailer later. But the news story here, regardless of what you think of it, it's called Neighborhood Watch, and of course we had Trayvon Martin was shot and killed by a Neighborhood Watch guy in Florida, self-appointed Neighborhood Watch guy, and the fact that the movie's called Neighborhood Watch, they pulled some marketing in Florida because like the marketing was a Neighborhood Watch sign with bullet holes in it.
I could see how it could be a little...
Yeah, totally understandable. However, they went way further than I think they should have, and they changed the name of the movie.
That is ridiculous.
They changed it to The Watch.
Only because of the Trayvon Martin case?
I would assume. Otherwise, what's the reason? I gotta say, that's just bending over for stupid people. Anybody that's really got any lick of intelligence, knows that they clearly are not banking. They're not making a movie about
aliens,
right? And it's not. Why would they make a movie that's banking on the killing of this kid? And on top of that, like the first trailer came out before this happened.
Yeah, this is
stupid, absolutely stupid. And it just annoys me because it's literally just kind of catering to
more whining and complaining,
dumb people.
And now the title
I don't think anybody even whined and complained though. That's the thing.
Oh, they were just like doing it to protect their ass.
I think they just like were preemptively doing it, and I totally agree with taking the marketing out of Florida and changing the marketing up. It just is so stupid. I disagree with it completely, and I think it's pathetic. So very unfortunate.
The title's stupid.
On top of that, the movie looks bad anyway now, so it doesn't even matter.
Who gives a poop?
Yeah.
For video game news, last week we actually just missed this announcement.
Oh,
so
really?
I figured we should touch upon it.
Okay.
The Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, Oblivion, is getting a MMO, a massively multiplayer online game.
How will this be different from every other?
That's the thing. So far, it doesn't look different.
Yeah, I don't know much about these types of things, but is it?
It takes Skyrim and Oblivion, all those games had like a really cool art style, and now that it's an MMO, it looks just like World of Warcraft. It looks just like the Star Wars one.
Oh, okay.
And it is cool because you're going to be able to travel the entire
realm.
The entire realm of
the realm.
What is really exciting is that you get the whole realm of Tamriel to explore. That's all the games put together, which is really exciting.
I'm Jake. I'm a virgin.
Well, I'm actually not, so...
Oh, we know, because you need the Asgard.
Oh! So fans of Elder Scrolls are pretty divided on this. Say what you want, but it still has a lot to prove, and there's not a lot of information out yet, but it could be really, really huge.
Like, what else? What could they do that's different from World of Warcraft?
Probably not much.
Innovate.
What else can you do? It's like they've already done it. Magic, swords, demons. It's all done.
It's just, I guess they think that the Elder Scrolls world is so
vast,
interesting and unique and vast.
I don't know
and
about that.
Rich with lore that it translates, but it really doesn't a lot of times because it's about just you. It's about you exploring and being like
Dragon World. That's it.
You're gonna get a lot of flack for that.
Bring it!
We're getting closer and closer to the release of the Spider-Man game. That
very excited. Very excited.
Yes, this is relevant to your interests. If you pre-order it, I sound like a commercial, but apparently if you pre-order it from Amazon, you get Stan Lee as an unlockable character, and you could swing around the city.
Swing around as Stan Lee.
Wait, is that for real what you can do?
Yeah,
I was kidding around when I said that. I made a joke earlier that Stan Lee would swing off a building and his arm would snap off. That's for real?
There's a picture. If you right here, there's a picture of him. He can swing, and you get to be. It's like a skin. You could be him.
That must be incredible for Stan Lee to see.
That'd be amazing.
He probably loves.
I wouldn't play the game like Spider-Man at all. I would
just play Stan Lee.
Like, does he talk like Spider-Man or Stan Lee?
I don't know.
Oh my god, I hope he's got a couple of Stan Lee catchphrases.
Like one-liners. Excelsior! Like, and he jumps off a building.
Excelsior, and he jumps off.
He falls.
He just crumbles. Oh my god, you're right. You could do that. You could
jump off the Empire State Building and just hit the ground.
Put your voice in it. Excelsior!
Wow, well... If nobody does that, we will. Just so you know, we will. So this is only if you pre-order at Amazon?
Yeah, if you pre-order at GameStop, there's you get to be the Rhino for a little while. But,
this is going to be tough.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. No, honestly, I don't know what I'm going to want to do then.
You're stupid. You want to be Stan Lee.
Yeah, I do, but he's just going to be another Spider-Man with a different skin. The Rhino's going to be different.
Yeah, you can run around and kick cars and
Well,
stuff.
we'll have to see. Rhino's pretty stupid, so I don't know.
Also, for Assassin's Creed fans, the first gameplay trailer of Assassin's Creed 3 has dropped. You can watch it in the link in the info box. And all I can say is bears are confirmed.
Bears are confirmed.
I don't know anything about this. Like I said, I haven't played them, but I do think that this looks awesome based on that trailer.
As soon as I saw the bear, I was sold. I don't need anything else in this
we were
game.
blown away by going through the house.
Yeah,
that
like
was cool.
Running from, because you run in Assassin's Creed, jumping through a window and like running through someone's house and like jumping over a table.
It's
and
like
then jumping out the
parkour-y,
window.
right?
Yeah,
okay.
And lots of cool kills.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Cool.
All right.
I dig it.
Looking forward to it.
I dig it.
Good, you dig it.
I dig it.
Can you dig it?
I dig it.
You say, yes, we can.
dig
They didn't
it.
say that in the movie, though, did they?
I dig it.
And in final and upsetting news, Bioshock is getting delayed. Bioshock Infinite.
For quite a long time, too, right?
February.
Well, when was it supposed to come out?
October 20th?
I think
So
so.
about like
Month.
4 months.
Yeah, I can't
Wow,
add, but that's a
Something
lot of
like
time.
that.
they better be like lining this game with gold for that, because like I expect nothing less from Bioshock,
Yeah.
but apparently they might be doing this just because of multiplayer.
Yeah.
I would want to like just completely drop Bioshock if they announced that.
Really?
It's almost obligatory now that they're going to add like a DLC online pass
Yeah,
and the
because
multiplayer.
the multiplayer in Bioshock 2 is awful.
Yeah.
And they put like a lot of work, like, oh, Bioshock's now a multiplayer, guys, you gotta play it.
They're trying to they're trying to fix it. Maybe you think?
It just didn't work.
Are you
Like,
saying that they shouldn't even put the multiplayer
Yes,
in?
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Multiplayer just does not work with Bioshock.
Gotcha. But now, is that good in terms of selling more games? Is that why they would
Honestly,
want to do that?
in terms of, I'm getting real now, but like in terms of,
Get real. Go ahead. Get real.
Sorry.
Maybe.
That's me. All these game makers and game publishers think that throw it in and tacking on a multiplayer to a game that doesn't need multiplayer, think that's good and that's going to make people buy the game. That's dumb. Keep in mind this whole multiplayer thing is just speculation, but we will follow up on it. And thankfully, even though Bioshock got moved, Dishonored is now coming out in October, so look forward to that.
The silver lining. So that's it for news this week. Next up, we're going to talk about all of the brand new trailers that were released this week. But first, we're going to take a quick commercial break. What can we do for the commercial break? It's got to be something funny.
Oh, wait, I got a perfect idea. I'm sorry, baby. I'm doing this because I love you!
Welcome back to Pretty Much It. Now we're going to talk about the trailers that were released this week. Nothing super exciting, but there still are a few to talk about. So let's start off with The Watch.
Why do you want us off his property?
There's something we gotta figure out. I think we dress Franklin up as a girl. He goes to the door.
I'm not gonna go past second with this old guy, but if I have to, I will. I will
let's
use
talk
both
about it.
hands. I won't use a mouth.
I thought this looked funny from the teaser trailer.
Yeah.
But now
I
that I've
didn't.
seen the trailer, I know you didn't yet, but you also, to be fair, you don't like the cast.
Yeah.
So that's like right when you saw the cast, you didn't like
Yeah,
it.
I was like, nope.
I thought that it looked funny, but I have to say, from this trailer, there was a couple of funny moments, but it seems to be trying way too hard, which seems to be
Yeah.
Ben Stiller's MO these days, is trying too
I
hard,
know.
right?
It's so upsetting.
But, yeah, I mean, I'm just not really into it. I'll see it, but I'm not really into it.
I feel like I'm jaded by these kind of movies now. Like when I first saw the first trailer, I already was like, nah. But now my assumptions are correct.
What?
Mowing. The next trailer out this week, it's actually two trailers sort of in the form of political ads for the campaign. Now, I thought this sounded funny at first. Like, the idea of it sounded funny. Do you know anything about it, really? Or Will Ferrell
yeah.
and Zach Galifianakis
See,
are playing two people running for president, and that's what it is.
As soon as I heard that, I'm like, all right, Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis. They're funny in their own ways. Like, when I heard, Will Ferrell movie with Zach Galifianakis, I can just hear in my head.
Together?
Let's get the funniest guys we can get
Yeah.
and put them in a wacky, zany comedy.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I hear when I heard that. That was
Right.
It looks like that's exactly what it is.
I thought it would be funny just because there's a lot to spoof. I feel like in terms of like presidential elections and stuff like that. So unfortunately, though, after seeing these little trailer things, I don't think it looks very funny at all.
No, not too funny.
There's a joke in it where Will Ferrell is suggesting that Zach Galifianakis is like one of Saddam Hussein's sons, right?
Yeah, and I didn't laugh.
And he goes, and if I remember correctly, we didn't catch his sons, something
And falafel.
and falafel.
That was like flat.
And I'm like, oh, so that's the humor, huh? No. So unfortunately, I don't really think this looks funny. I mean, I like Zach Galifianakis. He's basically playing Seth Galifianakis, and
He seemed
I love
decent.
Seth Galifianakis, so it's
Yeah.
hilarious. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not really digging it. So, unfortunately, this did nothing for me. This actually put me off. Next trailer that we absolutely have to mention is for Excision.
Can you contract an STD from having sex with a dead person?
This looked pretty interesting.
Well, I can say that I saw this movie at Sundance. I did see this movie, and this is a very accurate representation of what the movie is, this trailer. Very,
Really?
very accurate.
All right,
The
that's
movie
good
is this. It is a totally messed up, crazy movie. To give you an idea, they gave like sort of almost like I don't want to say party favors. It doesn't sound right, but they gave something to everybody that attended the premiere.
Really?
And they gave us beanies that say Excision on it, and then inside the beanie was a little vial with a fake bloody tampon inside.
Ew.
That's amazing.
Well, that's the movie, so that's what the movie is.
Even like just not to say like all the gross out stuff is cool. It's just nice to see something different.
Well, and something just they're going for it. The thing is, this movie, they really go for it. They don't like dance on the edge of it. They go
Good.
way over the edge.
Get your free bloody tampon today.
Now, if you heard me say fake bloody tampon and you thought, what? This movie's not for you. Completely ignore it. Moving on to another big trailer released this week. I believe this is Ben Affleck directing again, correct?
Yeah, it's like the next.
His next
The
directorial thing, Argo.
I need you to help me make a fake movie.
So you want to come to Hollywood and act like a big shot without actually doing anything?
Yeah.
You'll fit right in.
It looks really cool just because it's a really interesting time in the early 80s, the Iran hostage situation, which was a really tense time. And it tells this really weird story, which I've never heard of, where they masquerade as film producers to get into Iran. They're like, we have to film a scene in the desert
Right, okay.
to save hostages.
Yes,
Which,
okay.
I don't know, it seems kind of
That's
cool.
definitely interesting.
And he directed The Town.
Yes,
Right? That was
yes.
pretty good. So.
He's very good. He's
Yeah.
very good. And another big one that people are excited about this week with a big cast is Gangster Squad. Now, I think that this looks cool, but it's just kind of not really it doesn't pique my interest necessarily,
Yeah, same.
but I do think it looks like a very good movie.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's a bad movie. but
Right.
it's just-
Like, we can acknowledge that this movie looks great, I'm just not super interested,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm actually not interested at all.
Really, I am
yeah.
just because I think the cast is very interesting. There's a lot of people in the cast that I like, so I'll probably be checking it out. Would you? What do you think of that?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Okay, sign you up, right?
Sign me up.
And the last trailer we're gonna get into it all is for The Odd Life of Timothy Green.
Honey, there's something you need to see.
Hi. Hi.
Now, this might sound like The Curious Case of Benjamin Button in title, just because it sounds very similar. But this movie basically is about Jennifer Garner.
This is real, by the way. Everything about to hear is real.
Yeah, and Joel Edgerton. They write down a bunch of qualities that their dream baby would have, and they put it in a box, which also everybody does. They plant the box out in the backyard, and then the next day or something, there's a baby boy. Actually, not a baby boy. He's like a toddler.
No, he's not even a toddler.
He's like 10.
He's like 10. That's
So he's
not
sitting
joking.
there covered in dirt in his bed, and
Like, hey, mom and dad, you're my new family.
now this is a Disney movie, so I guess it's for like kids, families, whatever. But
Even as a kid, I was like, why would you want to see that?
I feel like as a kid, I might have been creeped out by the fact that they kept this child without like reporting to the police that a random child appeared in their bedroom. It's basically like a demon spawn because it's not
Basically, it's
real.
from hell.
It's probably Satan's love child.
At the end of the movie, twist. It's like, I'm the Antichrist.
That's the end.
And like I said, they don't report this child. Like, they should have called immediately the police and said, there's a child.
There's a boy!
We think he ran away from home. He got in the dirt and he came into our house. He broke in. I don't know if he's trying to rob us, but in
didn't beat
any
me.
case, he is not our child. But rather than doing that, like, I guess he didn't have a collar, so they kept him.
And it cuts to the cop, and it's like, dispatch, already there. Yeah, what is it? We got a baby doing a breaking and entering.
Yeah. No, sir. He's about 10 years old. None of this makes sense. Obviously, we're going hard on this. It's a kids movie. We're goofing around, but it just kind of looks silly to me. I don't really know what. Then again, I really don't know much about it. We just from the trailer, this is all we're getting. Maybe there's some other thing to it that we don't understand, but it just seems very bizarre. The other trailers released this week were a Red Band trailer for The Dictator, which we did not watch. I don't think anybody watched it, right? Did you guys?
Yeah.
I don't want to see anything else because once again, we're all showing too much. I want to see the movie. I'm interested in seeing it.
The Red Band trailer is pretty much guaranteed to spoil
Everything.
all the jokes.
Yes, exactly. Also, Branded, Crazy Eyes, Bonsai, and Neil Young Journeys.
Is Crazy Eyes like the sequel to Mr. Deeds?
It's not. Moving on to the poll. Last week's poll question was, if Robert Downey Jr. gets replaced as Tony Stark Iron Man, which is possible. Kevin Feige said that. Or actually, maybe it wasn't him, but somebody over there said they might do a James Bond with it and just replace the actor and keep going with the same, keep the story going. Who would you like to see play Tony Stark? With 572 votes, I think the most votes anything has ever gotten in one of our polls, no one. RDJ is God. That was the response. In number 2, with 105 votes, no one else but RDJ. And in number 3, with 81 votes, touch RDJ and I shall kill you. So it's pretty clear.
Okay.
Robert Downey Jr. cannot go anywhere. I fully agree.
When we made this poll, I was like, I'm really interested to see what people would think.
Yep.
Then all right, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You know who I think would play him really good? John Hamm. I've been really into him. I feel like he's goofy enough,
I
but
could
very
see
badass.
that would be a bit of almost like a caricature version because I feel like he's kind of like a like a goof.
Because I was trying to think of anybody.
Yeah.
John Hamm is now that's the only.
That's
thing I
really
think about.
that's true. But in reality, though. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is perfect. Yeah, right. In reality, shut up, please.
Sorry.
Honestly, though. The poll question for this week, we actually don't really have a question. We were looking at the list of everything we talked about, and there's really nothing that interesting to ask you guys a question about. So we're going to take this opportunity to ask a question I've been wanting to ask you guys. Where do you live?
Where do you live?
Address, everything.
For real, though, what major city are you nearest to? Please keep it to major cities. If you're anywhere near New York City, that's your major city. Don't add in, Bumble F, New Jersey or something. Like, you'd put New York City if you're close enough to it. Try to do that. Because we're trying to gauge who is, in what area, because, maybe we'll come and see you guys somewhere at some point.
Visit your house.
But, so we're trying to get a gauge on that, and you can help us out. So click the link down in the info to go to our Facebook page and vote in the poll. It's not really a vote so much as, obviously kind of getting a feel of where everybody is. Yeah. But let us know. And do keep in mind that we're trying to, major cities, do the best you can with that.
LA,
if you're 2 hours
New York,
away from one, because, it'll be much more helpful to track everybody that way. Yeah, we're trying to track everybody. That sounds really terrifying. And finally, the giveaway winner this week is getting a copy of, what the hell movies is it? It was Tim and Eric's $1 Billion Movie, or The Vow, or Underworld Awakening. It's really like a big spectrum of for anybody.
Go with $1 Billion Movie.
Well, I think this person actually said they wanted The Vow for their mother. How beautiful.
Oh, Mother's Day.
Jordan Tyler Figueredo. I can't. Is that what that says? My eyes are no good. Figueredo. However you pronounce the name, you are the winner this week. I will contact you to see which DVD you'd like. Although, like I said, I think they wanted The Vow for their mother. That is a beautiful thing.
You're nice.
And that's it for this week. That's all the news. Not the most exciting week. I feel like coming off Avengers is not. That was so damn exciting that I feel like we're in the wake of it now.
It's the downward slope from the end.
My most exciting thing this week is Kick-Ass 2, but I understand why most people wouldn't be excited because, like I said, Cry Wolf is just it's one of my faves, so I'm excited in that respect. But, and Assassin's Creed 3.
That's
cool.
thing. Yeah, that was cool.
But, so thank you very much. I'm going numb. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for always watching if you do. And thank you for liking us on Facebook if you do. Thank you for being cool if you do.
Thank you for just being you.
If you do. And that's pretty much it.